Ooh, I like that. Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. It's the beginning of May, and something that I wanted to do this month with you guys was a monthly reset. So this is something that I do every single month, and I did it a couple months ago and got a request to do it monthly, so I think this is something that I might just kind of start doing more often. It's not maybe like the normal monthly reset that you'd think of, but it's more of a spiritual and a mental goals reset. Not necessarily strict goals, but intentions and things that I want to strive for, ways I want to really grow closer with the Lord this month, a reflection of last month. And I truly believe that if you want to grow, reflection is a really big part of growth. Without that, there's not really ways to grow because you're not really seeing what you're doing good and what you're not doing good. And I think it's really, really important to do that. So I'm coming to you today on a Sunday afternoon, got home from church, and decided to put on my comfy Christmas pajamas because why not? And then Element, so this is a sodium drink that I drink, and they literally came out with sparkling electrolyte water, and this sounded amazing. So drinking in some of this, and I'm going to go over some of my goals with you. I'm gonna start off going over my goals and intentions from last month, and then I'm going to really just kind of reassess, how I could have done better last month, and then kind of going forward. This is definitely a humbling experience. I'm kind of nervous to look at this because I can just already reflect and know that this last month was not the best month for me. I'm pretty sure one of my intentions I wrote down was to have less screen time. That was an absolute fail this month. I'm really, really disappointed in myself, honestly. I work a lot from my phone and my computer. It can be very easy to get caught up in the scroll of social media. And so I really need to set myself better boundaries. I really need to have more accountability. And it's a struggle, a daily struggle for me. And so I already know that's gonna be a failure here. So you know what, let's just go ahead and get humbled and dive right in. So I just have this notebook. A lot of people do it digitally. I used to do it on my iPad, but again, it's just that screen thing. I like to spend more time writing down things, so that can be really helpful. May. Did I do that in May? This is May. I was getting my months confused. Okay. I'm so confused. Okay. One of my April goals was to run a half marathon. And I did run a half marathon, but was that in April? No way that was in April. Hold on, let me look at my phone and see. I'm confused. Okay, I'm trying to scroll back and see when I ran a half marathon. Because for some reason I feel like it was so long ago. Oh, it wasn't April. It was literally April 5th that I ran my first half marathon. Okay. Not a race, just I ran 13.1 miles, so. That is so exciting. Okay, so I did that. That's a really, really big accomplishment. So I will check that. Launching my app. Oh my goodness, yes, I did launch my health and fitness app, which is super exciting. It is a Christian workout app, and that has been going pretty well, so I'm super excited about that. Something with my business I wanted to start doing was start email marketing. That's something that I have done more of, which I am really proud of because I just really need to start doing more emails. That's a really great way to just kind of build my business. And I also did start client calls. That's something I wanted to do this month, so I'm really proud of that. Having a servant's heart. Okay. That is something I wrote down this month. I will say for sure it improved. But I can also just remember certain times where it was definitely lacking. Basically what I do is if I completed it, I put a check mark. If I kind of did it, I put a squiggly. And if I just didn't even do it at all, I hit do an X. I think it's important to realize our achievements. It's also really important to realize our failures. And it's important to realize that, okay, I did put some effort into that, but I need to be putting more, I know God is growing me. I know certain situations where God is growing me and allowing me to be more hospitable. That's something I really wanted to work on, and just, not serving from a point of I'm better than you or anything like that, but serving because I want to be a servant of the Lord and serve others. I want to serve others with a humble heart. And so God is growing me in that for sure. It's something I'm still working on. Being respectful and submissive. So this is something I've always struggled with. Yeah, I grew up just being super, that independent girl who can do it all on her own, and just really learning the dynamic of marriage and how God has designed marriage. It's such a blessing, and it's freeing to be submissive, but it is a challenge for me for sure. I will say God is growing me in that. I had really good days and I had some really bad days as well. So I'll probably put a squiggly on that, but I will say God is 100% growing me in that area. Just not exactly to where I want to be yet, and it's just a constant sanctification that God is working on me in. Oh gosh, this one. Be mindful of phone time. Yeah, that's a hard no. It's really hard, and so something I'm going to do when I set my new goals and intentions for this month is kind of set some stricter boundaries for that. Okay, so another intention slash goal that I had was being on top of my nutrition and cooking good. I will say I did cook this month because I felt like last month we ate out a lot and just were not doing super well with nutrition. And so I did cook more and I did better with eating overall whole foods. Still obviously have some improvement to make. Like something that's been kind of in my mind is like I need so much food for this race that I'm training for, but I also need to make sure I'm not just like fueling myself with trash. I don't know, it was just this mindset I had for a little bit, and I was like, no, I need to fuel my body properly. So that's something that I'm gonna put a squiggly, I'm gonna put a squiggly line on because I did better, but I did not do as good as I should have. So another thing some of you guys might not know about me, but I serve in my church as a 8th grade life group leader. It is such a blessing. It's so fun. But there's also times where I'm just not as prepared as I want to be. I don't necessarily spend as much time on the lesson as I want to, just being honest here. So one thing I wanted to do this month was prepare them more in advance. And I would say 75% of my lessons over this month I did do that with. I will probably put a check mark by that because that's something I was really intentional about this month, and also just being able to pray more for the girls in my class and things like that. Something that I definitely still need to work on. Okay, so now what we're gonna be doing is that was all like the April goals and intentions that I had. So now what I want to do is go on to my May goals and intentions. So one thing that I think is really important as you're setting goals and intentions or whatever you're doing is that they aren't just centered around you. You know, that they have a deep meaning. It's not just like, I want to be successful, I want to look good, I want to impress this person, I want to make this amount of money. Like, why? What is the deeper meaning behind those goals? Do you want to make an impact on the kingdom of God? Do you want to be able to love that person like Jesus does? Do you want to be able to use your money for good? Do you want to be able to XYZ for the kingdom of God and do good for the kingdom of God? And also just realizing like, yeah, obviously we want to be able to achieve good things and achieve things in our life, but it's really like, is this just for the glory of me, or am I going to be able to point this to the glory of God? And am I planning to point this to the glory of God, or is this just for me to point the glory to me? You know, something to really think about. And then also there are some things that sometimes we want to achieve in life and things that we want to do in life that maybe we aren't going to honor God or maybe don't align with his plan for us. So really whenever I'm setting over these goals and intentions, it's really important for me to pray over them, because I don't want to just be setting these goals for my life and just be so focused on my goals and what I want to do that I miss out on what God has for me. Because while I might think that my plan is best, God's plan is best, and what he has for me is so much better than anything I could possibly ever think for myself. And so really just making sure when I'm setting these goals and intentions, they align with what I believe God's plan is for me right now. I'm praying over these, and so as I'm pursuing these goals and as I'm pursuing these intentions, that God will work in my heart and show me if I should continue to pursue these, or if I'm like, you know what, I don't think this is a good fit for me right now. Like right now, you know, I'm training for a really big race right now, and I'm super blessed to be able to have the time to do that. And I think the Lord has just already put it in my mind that this isn't something I'm going to be able to do forever. It's something hopefully I'll be able to do for a while. But I think as my husband and I get deeper into ministry, it might not be something I get to do, and that's okay. And I think God's putting me at rest at that. It's not that I'm not going to be taking care of my health, but it's the fact that maybe I don't always get to do crazy races like this. And so just being able to take advantage of it while I can right now is such a blessing. So it's really staying in tune with the Lord and what you believe he's called you to right now. So let's write out some of my main goals and intentions. I'm going to take a second and write these down, and then I will go over them with you. Okay, so my main goals and intentions, first off, is boundaries with phone time. And these are things that like I will dig into more. I think something that's really important with goals is that we don't just set general goals like, okay, I want to work out more. I want to set boundaries with phone time. Okay, how many days a week are you going to work out? What are those boundaries going to look like? It's really important because when we're setting general goals, it's like we don't really have something exactly to stick to. It gives us a lot of leniency, so that's something I am going to work on. Another thing I said is just cook at home more and be more disciplined with nutrition, which is something that I worked on last month, which I did good on. It's just something that I still want to continue on this month. This is another thing I really wanted to do this month, is finish You Are a Theologian book. Recently we had a women's conference at my church, and we were given this book, and it's called You Are a Theologian by Jen Wilkins and JT English, and it says it's an invitation to know and love God well. I'm about 3 chapters in and I've really been loving it so far. My husband's in seminary school and he's just learning a lot, and you know, it really challenges me, all the things he's learning and just the way that he is learning about the Bible and learning about God. And I was so excited to get this book at the women's conference. I want to know more about God. I want to know more about the Bible. And I just really want to be able to know why I believe what I believe. I think that's something that's very important for us as Christians. And I don't think I'm necessarily there yet. I'm super, super excited to continue to dive into that. This is something I really want to work on this month, is finish this. And not just something where I'm just like reading through it, something where I'm reading into it, diving into it, taking notes. My husband has an incentive for me. I told him I really want to get a Kindle. I've really been getting into reading, and I don't always love to carry around books with me. Like, we have some different trips this summer, and it's like, I don't want to take books with me. I want to be able to have my Kindle. I like to switch between books. And he says, okay, so he didn't give me a timeline. I'm putting a timeline on myself for this. But he said, if you read this book, and basically for every chapter, you write me 2 paragraphs on whatever it is, then I can get a Kindle. So that's what I'm gonna work on this month. Hopefully I'll get a Kindle before next month. Yeah, that's just like a cute little incentive that he gave me. Some people might think like, oh, that's kind of like harsh or whatever, but like, I love it. I think it's good for us to be able to push each other and push each other to do better and work towards goals. So it gives me something to, first off, make sure I'm not just like reading the book, but I'm making sure I'm reading it, really taking it in and being able to write something on it. And then also, you know, I'm also going to be able to hopefully get my goal of getting a Kindle. So that's really funny. Another thing I put down is simply seek God more, you know, seek him more in my business and my marriage and my friendships and whatever that looks like. You know, I think a lot of times, like I said, it can be really easy for me to just want to do my own plan, follow my own ways, but it's like, I want to make sure that I'm seeking God in all I do. When I'm feeling stressed out, when I'm feeling down, when I'm feeling like I can't, you know, love my husband or serve my husband or, you know, show up on social media or whatever that may be, that like, I am seeking the Lord and asking him for guidance in all that I do. I don't want this life to be something that I'm doing on my own. I don't want it to be something where I'm trying to figure it out all on my own and thinking I got it all together, because I don't. I want to seek God in literally every single thing that I do. And so that's just something I want to be more intentional about. And what that means is just a constant prayer of, God, guide me here. God, show me this. Reveal this to me, God. I pray that I'm following you, know, really just asking God to guide me in every area. Another thing is being on top of my training and learning more about the race. So next month, you guys, I think it's literally, hold on, how many weeks until June 9th? So my race is 5 weeks from today, which is crazy to say. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. This month I have to be on top of my training, and I also really just want to kind of dive more to learning more about the race, the course, really making sure that I am set up for success nutrition-wise, hydration-wise, with my kit, everything like that I'm going to be wearing and things like that, making sure I'm learning more about my bike and how to fix it if something were to happen. That's something I'm really scared of. This month I really just want to make sure I'm disciplined in all areas. My word for this year was discipline, and I really want to make sure I'm putting that into action this month. Another kind of like intention / goal that I had was to run a half marathon. I know that was on it last month, but I really need to make sure I'm running another one this month just to kind of push myself, push my limits. So, and then my last thing that I put on here was to work on improving my one-on-one coaching and making sure that I'm giving it my all. And my one-on-one coaching is something I absolutely love. I absolutely love working with women and helping them with their spiritual health and their physical health and just being able to love their bodies through the way God made them. As I'm continuing to just coach these one-on-one clients, I just want to make sure they're getting the most out of my program and just being able to have the most benefits and just make it fun, you know. I'm all about health being fun, so that's something I really just want to work on this month. Like, I have some ideas of things I just want to be able to incorporate in one-on-one coaching to be able to have a fun community and group aspects. That's something I just kind of want to work on. But those are just kind of like my goals and intentions for this month, and I'm going to take some time and just really take a few minutes and pray over this. So yeah, as you guys are kind of still starting the beginning of this month, you know, try this out. Like, this is something that really helps me to not just stay stagnant all year and not be able to reach towards any goals. I think it's so helpful for me to just really have an idea of things that I want to reach for, of, you know, just something to help keep me mindful to grow. I don't want to stay in the same place. I don't want to stay in the same place physically, spiritually, in my business, in my social media. I don't want to stay in the same place. I want to grow and continue to get to the next level and know with God's strength that I can do that. And so just really setting out different goals, intentions, you know, it's not something that's like crazy strict, like, oh, I want to lose, you know, 50 pounds or nothing like that. Just things that help you be mindful of growing into the strong and capable one of God that God designed you and made you to be. So just kind of thinking of that. But again, you guys, reflection is so important. Don't neglect looking back on your failures. Like, don't let failures be something that just completely gets you down and gets you defeated, but let them be something that pushes you to be a better version of yourself. Learn from your failures. Don't let them just get you down. Let them push you further. Acknowledge your failures. It's important not to just ignore them. It's also important to acknowledge your wins and be proud of yourself for those things and just thank the Lord for how He's working through you. This is something that I like to do at the beginning of each month. I hope that this kind of just inspired you and motivated you to maybe do something similar. But if you guys have any questions about this process or anything like that, please feel free to comment below. But I hope you guys all have a wonderful May. I hope you guys all really just seek the Lord in all that you do this month. And I pray you guys have an amazing week, and I will see you guys next week.